Yo ninjas and Kaio, in this video we're gonna practice the flare together. You can use this video to learn how to flare and practice with me all the times that you wanna practice the flare. I really recommend to practice and follow this video at least 2 times per week, but if you can do more, it's even better. The more you can do it and the more you practice correctly, the faster and the easiest you will learn how to flare. So this video is gonna be basically a flare training that you can follow along. So I'm gonna teach everything on both sides. If you don't care about learning flares on your wrong side, on your weak side, you can just practice on your regular side. And when I explain to the other side, you can just rest, or you can still practice on your normal, on your strong side. But I really recommend you to practice flares on both sides, because actually if you learn how to flare on your weak side, maybe counterclockwise like this, then your normal flare on the clockwise direction will also improve. So it's gonna be very useful for your body control. I also recommend before to start to warm up a little bit, but if you don't warm up, it's not a big problem because we are gonna start with very easy exercises and you're gonna warm up however doing them. Maybe if you are a beginner and if you watch this video for the first or the second time, it could be very challenging, but just try however to follow the video until the end. So let's start. Legs like this, right hand in the middle, like this, facing the right side. We're gonna start kicking the right leg in a circle like this, and then sliding this part of the leg on the floor like this. So from here, just doing this. We're gonna repeat this movement 3 times in each side. So from here, 1, lift up this leg, again, 2, last one, 3. Let's do it on the other side now. Left hand on the floor, this time left leg. 1, 2, and 3. After each reps, when it's done, like now, you can rest for like 30 seconds or 1 minute. Now, we're gonna repeat the same thing 3 times on each side, but this time we're gonna make the opposite leg. So, if you start with the right hand on the floor, the left leg should be straight and more high, up, in this case. So, this is an example, like this. So, not like this, like before, but more straight and more up, as high as possible. We're gonna do it 3 times and 3 times. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Other side, counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3. Rest for other 30 seconds or 1 minute. Next step is the same thing, but now we are gonna straighten both legs. So before we did something like this, now we are gonna straighten this leg like this. And you should try to slide it as far as possible. So not like this, but try to slide it more. And don't sit on the floor like I did. I did it just to show you. I'm gonna give you an example like this. As you see, both legs are kind of straight. They doesn't need to be perfectly straight. You can even bend them a little bit, kind of like this, but not that much. So not something like this, for example, but try to keep them straight. And now you can lean with both hands on the floor when you arrive to the front, like this. So I'm gonna do it again 1 time just to show you. Doing this. And not sitting on the floor, but staying in this position. 3 times and 3 times. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. On the other side. 1, 2, 3. Now you can rest for 30 seconds or 1 minute. Next step, we're gonna do the same thing, but when we arrive here, we're gonna switch the legs like this. But remember, don't sit on the floor, don't do that. So your hips should be always up. If you can push it even more up, like this, would be even better, but it's very hard. So if you want, you can even stay with your hips low, but not sitting on the floor and just doing that. But if you feel comfortable, you can even try to lift it more up like this. To do this exercise properly, you should be able to hold an L sit, this position, for at least 5 to 10 seconds, or even more if possible. I'm gonna show it one more time, just to make you understand. Slide and switch. When you switch your legs also, you should try to be slow and controlled with your legs. So don't put them boom, like this on the floor, but try to switch them slowly, like this, and control. 3 times on each side. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Slide and change. 1. Slide and change. 2. Slide and change. 3. Let's do it on the other side, counterclockwise. Or clockwise if you did it on the wrong side before, on the opposite side, I mean, sorry. Slide and change. 1. Slide and change. 2. Slide and change. 3. Now you can rest for 30 seconds or 1 minute. Let's go ahead with the next exercise. Same thing, but now from here, spinning clockwise, you're gonna slide your left leg towards the right side. So from here, slide this leg, and when you arrive here, lift up your hips. So lean your weight on the left arm, so don't stay in the middle with your weight, but shift it more towards this arm, so the right hand is gonna be free, and lift up your hips. I'm gonna do it slowly, the whole thing, just to show you. So slide, change, slide and lift up. This is gonna be a little bit more challenging, but don't worry, if you did the previous steps correctly, I'm sure you can do it. If you cannot slide on the floor with your feet, just use some socks or put something on your shoes so you can slide with your feet on the floor. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. 1, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. 2, one more time, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. It was 3 times, right? Yeah, I think so. On the other side, counterclockwise. Ready? 3, 2, 1, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. 1, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. 2, I can't count anymore, I don't remember. 1 more time, slide, change, slide and lift up your hips. I think it was 3 times, I hope I did it correctly. So 30 seconds or 1 minute to rest. Now last step to end up the first round of flare. What we are gonna do after doing the slide, the change, the slide and lifting up our hips is to kick with the right leg when you spin clockwise backwards like this and try to arrive in the same position to the other side. So lean the right hand on the floor, not here, but try to lean it inside, so here, not on the front like this. So from here, kick and slide back to the other side so you're ready to start the second round again. Again, I'm gonna show this movement from here, from the side, with this leg kick back like this, and also push a little bit with the other leg and go to the other side like this. When you feel comfortable with this little exercise, you can try to make it higher. So instead to kick backwards with this leg, you can kick up doing this. Let's start. 3, 2, 1, slide, change, slide, lift up your hips and go to the other side. 1, again, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. One more time, slide, change, slide, lift up your hips and push and come back to the start. 3 times. Now let's do it on the other side 3 times. Ready? 3, 2, 1, slide, change, slide, lift up your hips and push to the other side. 1, whoo, slide, change, slide, lift up your hips and go back. 3rd and last time, slide, change, slide, whoo, lift up your hips and push. Now you can rest for 1 minute. Now it's time to put together these steps. We're gonna start with the slide and with the change. Now we did 2 separate movements. So we did slide, then stopping, and then changing the legs. Now we're gonna try to do it all together. We're gonna do, instead of doing 1 and 2, we're gonna do these 2 movements in just 1 movement. So slide and lift, like this. If you're not able to do it, try to don't wait when you reach the limit when you slide. So when you do this, don't wait here, but immediately change. So try to do this. Slide and change. After doing the first thing as just 1 movement, we're gonna continue as before. So from here, slide and change. Then we're gonna continue like we did before. Slide, lift up your hips and change. 3 times on one side, 3 times on the other side. 3, 2, 1, slide and change, slide, lift up your hips and go like this. 1, slide and change, slide, lift up your hips and push. 2, one more time on this side, slide and change, slide, lift up your hips and push. 3 times, right? Okay, to the other side. 3 times. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Slide and change. Slide, lift up the hips and change. 1. Slide and change. Slide, lift up the hips and change. 2. One more time. Slide and change. Slide, lift up the hips and change. Whew, 1 minute to rest. Next step, we're gonna do the step 1, the step 2 and the step 3 all together in 1 movement. So the first step is the slide. 1. Second step, changing. 3rd step, sliding again like this. We're gonna try to arrive kind of like in this position with only 1 movement all together. If you cannot do it, try to do it in separate movements, but try to wait in each position as little as possible. So first, try something like this. 1, 2, 3. And then try a little bit faster without stopping in only 1 movement. So like this. And you should arrive in this position here. Then from here, we're gonna continue like we did before. So from here, we're gonna lift up the hips and we're gonna push and go back to this side. And we're gonna do it 3 times on one side and 3 times on the other side. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Slide and slide. Lift up the hips and push. 1. Slide. Lift up the hips and push. 2. One more time. Slide. Lift up the hips and push. And 3. Whew. To the other side. Rest for like 5 or 10 seconds. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, slide, lift up the hips and push. 1, slide, lift up the hips and push. 2, one more time, slide, lift up the hips and push. 3. Now rest for 1 minute. Next step is gonna be the same, but when we lift up the hips from here, we also gonna try to do it in the same movement. So without waiting here and then lifting up the hips, but immediately when we arrive here, immediately lifting up the hips. And we're gonna do it 3 times and 3 times again. And also continuing to the last step, like before. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, slide and lift up the hips, and then push. 1, slide and lift up the hips, and push. If you want, you can even lean the other arm on the floor a little bit faster. Last time, slide, lift up the hips, and then push. Did we do it 3 times? I think so, but just in case I will do it one more time. I cannot count, guys. So 3, 2, 1, slide and lift up the hips and push. Now 3 times on the other side. 3, 2, 1, slide and lift up the hips and push. 1, 2, last one, and 3. Rest for 1 minute again. Last step to do 1 round of flare. We're gonna do the same thing, but when we arrive here, directly we're gonna try to slide back to continue the round. Try to not lean this part on the foot on the floor, so don't do it like this, but try to slide with the foot. You should slide with this part. Make sure you can slide with your shoes on the floor. You wanna slide the foot back like this, and from here continue the round. So basically it's gonna be 1 round of flare, but a little bit slowly. This is just an example. Make sure also to arrive with both hands on the floor, not only with one hand. Instead, I see many people that they are ending up 1 round with this hand in the air, but then they are not used to leaning the hand on the floor, and it's very uncomfortable for them to lean this hand on the floor and to continue. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, slide, lift up the hips and continue. Okay. 2. So, 3rd time, make sure to lean both hands on the floor, like this. And now on the other side, same thing. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 3. So now we are gonna do the same thing as before, so 1 round of flare, but we're gonna do it a little bit faster and a little bit more powerful. So we're gonna do exactly the same, but this time you just wanna kick stronger. So first we did the flare kind of like this. Now we wanna do it kind of like this. Always leaning both hands on the floor when you finish. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, one more, 3, 2, 1, 3. Let's do it on the other side. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, just one more, and 3. If you can follow this video until this point, it means you can do one round of flare. To do multiple rounds, the concept is exactly the same. So you can do the same exercises. So from here, you can just slide and repeat this first step, changing, sliding, lifting up the hips, sliding again like this, and repeating over and over again. Basically what we did is just splitting the flare in 5 steps. I'm gonna repeat and show again all the 5 steps. When you can do all the 5 steps, you can just repeat them over and over again. Kind of like when you do a 6-step. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can do one round of 6-step, it means you can also do 2 rounds of 6-step. It's exactly the same. You start from the start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the flare is exactly the same. So if you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, from here you can repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as I said, basically you split the flare in 5 steps and you're gonna repeat these 5 steps over and over again. Then with time you just have to make the steps smoother. So instead of doing 1, 2, you're gonna do 1, 2 together. Then when you master it, you can do 1, 2, 3 together. When you master it, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 together. And when you master it, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together. And you do one round of flare. And then you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And actually you did more than one round of flare. Next time, if you follow this video again, when I did more repetitions of flare, you can start directly from the repetition to go to the next round. For example, if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you don't have to go back here like I did before, but from here you can start directly and do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then from here again, start directly. You don't have to lift yourself up and start from this position again, but you can start directly from the rounds. In this way, you are really gonna master multiple rounds of flare. I hope this video is useful for you. If you need more help for your power moves or your breaking, check out my Patreon, link in the description. And if you want, check out my merch, also link in the description. See you next time with a new video. Yo ninjas!